and welcome back to Mandy's Cute Boutiques. We are about halfway through the school holidays. My children are driving me absolutely batty. So I decided that I'm just going to go and watch this show, please. Thank you. I decided that I'm just going to start a tumbler that I have been meaning to do for a very long time. Well, since I've seen that tutorial on, I think it was Lulu Designs. I'm not entirely sure. I will find it and I'll put the link in the description of the video that has inspired this one. And quite a few people have been doing these, and I almost didn't record it, but I thought, why the heck not? See how we go. I watched it quite a while ago, and I'm hoping that I remember how it was done. Basically, at the moment, I'm just sanding my cup. It's a 30-ounce skinny, which I ordered from Affordable Blanks. I actually avoided the skinnies for quite a while because I just didn't understand their appeal. However, I have done one skinny and absolutely fell in love with them. So I will definitely be ordering more of these in a couple of different sizes. The 30 ounce is really good. The 30 ounce is my favorite size cup to use for my personal drinks. And the skinnies are just, the hold on them is so nice. And they're so easy to work with because they are straight. So if you're just starting out and the idea of doing all those curves and working around that is intimidating, grab yourself a skinny or a straight cup and have a try. All right, so I've sanded it, I cleaned it with alcohol, and then I touched it again, so that was a bit silly. Well, actually, I'll be touching it again anyway because I've got to mark off the line. So the tumbler I'm doing is the Damask Tumbler, the split one where they have the gorgeous marble effect on the bottom, and then they have like a strip of chunky glitter going through about here. Nice, chunky, really on key today, aren't I? So nice strip of chunky glitter in about here, and then at the top they have a peekaboo. So quite a few different techniques in this video, but hopefully I'll end up with a beautiful result. If I don't, you'll never see this video and nobody will be the wiser. Okay, so I'm going to pause because I just realised that I forgot to bring a pencil over, and that is a rather important step. So I'm back and I just have a HB pencil, and this is just a little candle. It's about the right size for where I want my bottom line to be. So I'm just going to hold this very firmly and turn my cup to put my bottom line on. Going all the way around, turning the cup, pressing it slightly against the pencil edge to get a nice straight line all around my cup. Now that's probably not going to show up. Oh yes, there we go. The video, there we go. So nice straight line all the way around. Sorry, I'm filming in a different spot in my room today, and there is quite a bit of shadows here. But hopefully it'll still work out okay. All right, so now that that's done, I'm going to tape that line off, and I'm going to spray paint the top of my cup from that line all the way up in my purple. One of the reasons that I have taken so long to do this cup is because I couldn't work out what color I wanted to do it in. Purple's my absolute favorite, so I ended up going with purple, although I think It's been done like a million times in purple, but I've got some beautiful purple glitters to choose from as well. And I'm really not doing well with keeping in the camera angle today, am I? Probably should have marked on my little mat where to put them. So I've got some purple glitters, got my purple spray paint. I'm going to tape off my cup along that line I just made and then spray paint it purple, and I will be back for the next step. Okay, so I'm back and my purple has dried. So I'm just going to remove this tape. Now the bottom will be painted black, so it doesn't matter that I got a little bit over here. I just wanted to have that nice straight line right from the start. Now I am going to measure up where I want my chunky glitter, and then I will add some Mod Podge, and that looks about right. So again with my pencil, holding it nice and firmly, and then just drawing my line. Actually, that might be a little bit too high, I think. Let me think. What can I use? That won't be high enough. Also not high enough. All right, I'm going to find something to measure up about 1.5 inches from that line to this line, I think. Yeah, so, and then I will be back once I figure out how to do this. Okay, I'm back. This cup seems to be about the right size. So I'm going to, once again, just moving the cup. Now this is actually scratching my spray paint, but that doesn't matter. I just need to see that nice line. And I think I like that all the way around. Now, I'm going to take off this area here, and I'm going to do up my chunky mix. Still haven't quite decided on which colours. I think I might just make up maybe mix a few of these that I've got here to make my own. And then see how I go. Now these lines don't have to be absolutely perfect because I will be putting a band around them later. But the more perfect you get it from the start, the less work you've got to do later on. So I'm actually going to put some tape around the bottom part as well, so that just that little bit that is in the center, well, it's not quite the center, but that little strip around there is perfect, almost perfectly taped up for my Mod Podge. Now, when it's finished, this actually looks like a ribbon of glitter going around the cup, and it looks amazing. Well, the one in the video that I watched has looked amazing, and the ones that my fellow crafters in my Tumblr groups have done have also been amazing. So I'm hoping mine will be too. Okay, so I've got my Mod Podge, just your regular old Mod Podge. I've got gloss because it's the one I'm able to buy in bulk. This one's nearly empty. What I do is when this is empty, I rinse it out, dry it, and then I've got the big bottle of it from Spotlight, and I use that to refill that, so that I'm not trying to use that massive bottle all the time. But buying it in bulk like that, when I use so much of it, just makes it so much easier. Now I've just looked up and noticed that my battery is flashing at me. I'm hoping that it lasts, at least for this little part. So I will sort of rush this along, and then I just realized that I have put that on there without having my glitter ready. I'll be right back. So let's see. Let's put a little bit of this one. This is from Sparkles by Cubby's Designs. Aurora Australis. And wow, pretty. And this one also Sparkles by Cubby Designs, and it is Field of Dreams Museum. So I'm going to put some of that in there. And that is gorgeous. But I want it a little bit more purple, so I'm going to add Royal Bluebell, also by Sparkles from Cubby Design. Sparkles by Cubby Designs. Now, if I am saying that wrong, I apologise. And hopefully Sam will correct me if she ever sees my videos. Okay, so I really like sparkle on that, and I'm going to use that. All right. Of course, my Mod Podge is almost dry. So let's go over that again. Because I'm using a chunky glitter, I'm going to do a nice thick coat of my Mod Podge so that I can get good, even coverage. Another reason that I like to do the Mod Podge nice and thick is so that I know that it's actually, there's enough glue on there for it all to stick on. With the chunkies, they do tend to like, you need to pat them down and pat them into the Mod Podge to really get them to stick nicely. I don't have paper here. Sugar butter. Okay, what have I got here? Black piece of card will do perfectly. All right. Sorry, guys. We're trying to race this clock here. And I didn't make up nearly enough of this, did I? Okay. Alright, so I'm just putting that on. If the battery does run out, then I will finish this off camera and come back. You've seen me glitter before. I'm sure you've all seen a million people glitter before. Okay. Oh, I really love that sparkle. Alright, almost got that all the way around.
Hi, Pine. Lunchtime. Yes, lunchtime is my favorite time of day. The animator bus is here.
And how pretty does that look when it falls onto the black card? Alright, last little bit. And then I will pat the chunky down and take off my tape straight away. That's really important because with the Mod Podge, if you let it dry while the tape is on there, when you take your tape off, it will rip the glitter. So you'll end up with like jagged lines and not those nice, straight, pretty lines. Okay, well, you know what? This, while it's chunky, it's not really doing that whole stick up thing that they usually do. I might end up doing another coat of that. And I just realized I forgot to untack my tape a little, so I'm going to have to respray the top of my cup. but that's okay. I don't mind doing that. Okay. There we have our nice line of glitter. Okay, I'm going to let that dry and then I will be back. Hi, I'm back with a fully charged battery, and while I was waiting for it to charge, I fixed up the purple spray paint and spray painted the bottom black. Other than that, I haven't done anything else. The way I did that was I just put some tape over the glitter. Once it was completely dried, I put some tape over the glitter very loosely, and so that I could spray it. You can notice there is actually a little bit of the purple spray paint over the black. I don't mind that. I'm going to be doing a marble effect down the bottom here, so that's going to be hidden anyway. Okay, so I am going to do the top in Cadbury Dairy Milk by Sparkles by Carby Designs. It is gorgeous, sparkly, true purple, and I love it. I wish I had actually ordered a bigger bag of this one when I ordered. Okay, so again, I'm just going to be using Mod Podge and just doing it from the top of that all the way around and putting on. Oops, it looks like my my paintbrush is still wet from when I washed it out last time. So we'll just get some paper towel and squeeze the water out of it. Okay. So we're just putting a nice even coat of Mod Podge around the top. Now, I do want this one to be mostly streak free because it is a fine glitter. I don't want the streaks showing through the glitter, and if my Mod Podge is streaky, my glitter will be streaky. You can get away with a few streaks with chunkier glitter, but you really don't want that when you're using your fine glitters. So I'm just making sure that I've got all of this really well covered. With nice even strokes. She's in her room, and please stop calling me Manda. School holidays really make you appreciate teachers, honestly. Okay, so I think that's almost done. Now, if you're not confident in your gluing, you could always take off that section again before you do your Mod Podge. But it doesn't really matter if the line isn't perfect, because, as I mentioned earlier, that will be taped off with some vinyl or maybe even some ribbon. I'm not sure yet what I'm going to do. I'm going to have a look at my stores when the time comes and figure it out. But yeah, so this glitter is so fine that just me talking over it has actually made it blow out a little onto the cup. It is amazing. No, I don't actually know anything about cups or anything. I just say fine, chunky, and in between. Okay. Oh, wow. Okay, I might just sprinkle this from the bag. That's much faster. The sparkle on this is absolutely amazing. I have not got a single glitter from Sparkles by Kabi Designs that I have been disappointed in at all. Like, they have all been absolutely amazing. So if you want great quality glitter, I highly recommend them. I will take a look at it when I'm finished. Perfection, honestly. Okay, I think that is a really decent. Really decent coverage. And absolutely beautiful, sparkly. Cannot wait to do the next steps. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to sit this up to dry for an hour or two, and then I will seal it with my Rust-Oleum clear. And then after that has dried, I will come back to you and I will be at my turner, and I will be ready to do the next step, which is a layer of epoxy and the marbling at the bottom section. And I am back and ready to do my epoxy and the marbling on the bottom. So I've sealed the glitter on my cup with the Rust-Oleum clear spray.
We need a band-aid. Keep the bug coming out.
And
Oh, coming out, look.
let me see it.
The bug. The bug, that way. The bug.
And off to my right.
Time for light start, so we'll 7 o'clock.
I'll just do a voiceover.
I'm sorry, babe.
It's alright.
No.
So I had my epoxy already mixed up, and I'm applying a fairly thin coat over the entire cup, just to seal everything in and to give it just that nice little first layer of shiny. Quite a bit of epoxy does end up going onto this cup because of the different layers and values that we do in it. Over on the side, I have a couple of little containers with some other epoxy that has pearl pigment powders in it. I have the Paper Mill Lavender, the Pearl-Ex Duo Violet Brass, the Pearl-Ex Misty Lavender, and I also had the Interference Violet from the Pearl-Ex, which is a pearl white that throws the violet colour. And I also had a little container of the chunky glitter that I used in the center of the cup. So I was just making sure that I had mixed them all in. I think there I was actually adding a little bit of white acrylic paint to some more epoxy because I decided I wanted to have a couple of more opaque white streaks to help bring the colour up through the bottom of the cup as well. So I'm using little teeny tiny paddle pop sticks that I just got from the cheap dollar store, and I am making stripes up through my glitter, up through the epoxy, going just in that bottom black part. If you are very careful when you do this, you don't have to worry about it traveling too much. Make sure that your epoxy is thickened up a little and that you have got a nice thin layer down there on that bottom area at least, especially. So I'm sorry, I can't remember the colours. I'm pretty sure that's the Misty Lavender from the Pearl-Ex, and that this one is the Duo Violet Brass, because you can see that it has that little bit of a goldish brassy sheen to it. So with this one, I'm going either over or just next to the stripes that I'd made before. I'm really not very good at this technique. I'm getting better, and I love how it looked in the end. But yeah, I think I need to learn to put on a little bit less epoxy and to go a little bit slower. I'm very impatient. And yeah, if I had put on less, I think the result would have been a lot prettier. And I should have just taken my time a bit more. So yeah, just take your time and make it so pretty. Okay, so this one is the I think that's the Interference Purple, which is looking very, very purple there, but it was quite a bit lighter than the others, and it is just stunning on its own and in the swirl. Okay, so here I decided that there was way too much colour and I wanted to bring the black back in. So I got the black ink, and this is where I make the first, what I thought of as the first and main mistake, is I put some black ink onto it to try and separate those colours. So I still just using one of the teeny tiny petal pops, putting it in. It didn't, at first it was working really, really well, but I went too far, like I almost always do. But like I said, I'm happy with the end result. But watching this back now, there's a few times where I think, oh, that's so pretty there. You should have stopped there. Or, you know, I feel like yelling at myself, just stop, you're wrecking it. But yeah, I think that's just part of the creative process. And one of the things that you can learn from watching me is that just because it's not working while you're doing it doesn't mean that you're not going to end up with an absolutely beautiful result. The one thing I did do is I did put more of the black ink on the bottom because I did want the bottom of my cup to be more dark and have so it looked like the colours were coming up out of it, sort of exploding up out of it. But yeah, I don't know if I achieved that, but I like the way that it's darker on the bottom and that the colours come up. Okay, right here, this is one of the spots where I'm like, yep, stop. It looks gorgeous. Stop. But no, I don't stop. This is me putting in the white. I actually ended up with very, very little white showing on my cup. I don't know whether it just got absorbed in with the other colours or what happened. But yeah, very little white ended up showing. But what does is quite nice. Yep. And now it's ugly again. But of course, if I had still stopped, that would have turned and blended and it would have looked just as stunning as it would have in the end. But no. Oh. I'm looking at that purple at the top and thinking how gorgeous that glitter is. I have to get some more of it. I'm nearly out. Yes, this is where I added black ink to the darkest purple that I had. And I put that on too, and yeah. Look how ugly that looks. At this point, I think I just felt like scraping the whole thing off and throwing the cup in the bin. But no, just keep working with it and you will get there eventually. Going in with the glitter now, with that, like I said, it's the same mix that I had in the center part. Just putting on some nice stripes. I am not good at this. Like, I don't know. I keep saying I'm not good at stuff, but I actually love my end results, so it's not so bad. But what I was after was those beautiful lines of glitter that you see in everybody else's cups, and they look beautiful and they look random and they look just perfect. Mine never do. and my glitter just spreads out, and I just end up with a big old mess. But it's a big old pretty mess, so I can live with that. But yeah, like I said, just keep working until you're actually happy with what you've got. You'll see when I come back for the next part that this looks completely different to what it looks like now. So it's just the beauty of swirls is that you can never tell how they're going to show out.
Okay, so I have weeded the...
Pinata.
You can't see it
Why you
because it's
got a
white
pink
on
bottle?
white. It's one of the things I don't like about the Cricut white vinyl is that they do have a white background on the white, so it's really hard to weed. But I think I've got all of the pieces out, and now I'm going to... I've just got a piece of book cover that I'm going to use as my transfer paper. This stuff is really cheap at the moment with back to school sales. And I find that it's so much easier to use than most of the transfer papers out there. Simply because it is so flexible. Okay, so I've just got a piece about roughly the same size as the entire wrap. And I'm going to put that on and use my scraper just to make sure. There are so many tiny little pieces in this. I want to make sure that I pick them all up. And make sure there's no bubbles, no gaps. Make sure the whole thing is covered. Now, I got my SVG file from Lovely Lulu Designs on Etsy. It's actually Lovely Lulu Designs who did the video that inspired me to make this tumbler in the first place.
Why you got a pink
Okay,
bottle?
so I'm just going to make sure that that has lifted up
Nana, why you got a pink bottle?
because it's rubbish.
Oh.
Okay, that's still not completely stuck. Now, this was an absolute pain in the neck to weave, but I am hoping that it's going to be worth it. I don't think I've ever done a peekaboo this intricate before, so that is going to be really interesting for me. I'm just going to lift this up and press it down from the other side. Now, I've used the Cricut removable vinyl simply because I find it easier to pull up after I've done my peekaboo. However, you can use any vinyl that you are not happy with. Like, just don't use like an awesome piece of holographic or whatever, because it would be a waste. So I'm just going to see how this is coming up. That looks like it's coming up beautifully now. So I'm just going to, okay. That's interesting. There's a piece there that didn't stick. So you want to take your time with this and really, really, really make sure that it is stuck to your transfer paper really, really well.
Then where did it come off?
Why did it come off?
Yeah.
I don't know, because it likes to be a pain in my neck, just like you.
Oh,
Ah,
think like me.
just like you, yeah.
What?
Oh, you think it likes you?
And as it spins, it's going to spread all of that out.
I'm just a lot.
Okay.
You're not going to look just like
Oh, we're getting there. We're getting there.
We're running this.
I'm not looking at you right now, Chris. I am.
I like to see how this is going to
What?
Can you please stop calling me Amanda? Okay. So, cut that off nicely. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this back on, but I'm going to cut it
Nana, look when we put it.
in half first,
Nana, look when we put it.
and then just sit it
I
back
see ears.
nice and lightly over the
Let's
top.
put on
And
camera.
this will hopefully help me
I see
to adhere it to my cup using the hinge
ears.
method.
I see.
Okay. So I have my cup over here. I didn't measure or resize this at all. I'm hoping that it fits our cups just as nicely as it fitted hers. All right, so I'm going to stand up for this part, and I'm going to
Why?
just eyeball this part.
Why?
See where. Ah, okay. So, of course, I should have measured because but that's okay. My line at the bottom here isn't, so it's about an inch, half an inch at the top there that I'll just end up trimming off. Alright, so
Mommy, happy birthday to you. Say happy birthday to you.
it's not my birthday, honey.
Good. Okay.
So I'm going to line it up along the bottom, not quite exactly on the bottom because
Say just the type.
I will be putting
Hard.
the vinyl strips around there. So as you can see, there was a little bit of excess here, but that's okay.
Mommy, want you stay here for apple?
Okay. Oh, I haven't got this on straight, I don't think. Oh, absolutely not. Alright. I'm just going to go with it. It's only for me, and it's my first time. So,
Have the breakfast.
you've already had breakfast.
More breakfast.
I told you I'll get you some lunch in a minute.
Need a breakfast.
Alright.
Look at this
So,
one.
I'm just going to sit this on here
Look at this one.
while I start removing this side.
Look at this cup. Look at the rainbow cup. My rainbow pony. My pony.
Your little pony, huh?
My little pony.
Can you move away, please?
My
Hop off my arm while I'm working.
I
little.
am going to
Man, the wood.
Alright. So, you can't see what I'm doing. Okay, there we go. So, better. Alright, so I'm just removing this part of the transfer tape to start with. Making sure that all the little bits stick down. This is making it a little bit harder with it not being...
and I'll link them down in my description. You just
Okay.
That's fun. Right?
Okay, that's not going to work. Now, I did cut 2 of these for this reason. But I think what I'm going to do is just pull all of this off and actually do what I should have done in the first place and resize it for my cup. But as you can see, that pattern is just beautiful.
Santa, your pencil.
Okay, take 2. I have measured my decal this time. Well, I measured the cup and then I resized my decal. And now I'm just checking to make sure that it does actually fit nicely around my cup, which it does. Now, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to trim this section here and this section here so that when I do my wrap, they're not overlapping each other. So I'll go on evenly and nicely. When I put on my transfer tape, I will do the same thing. I'll trim it around where I've just trimmed it then. So, new piece of transfer tape. Chris, honey, no, yuck. Ugh. I don't care if you like it. You don't eat maple syrup on its own. Ugh, children. Okay, so here we go again with taking the backing off the contact paper that I'm using as transfer tape. Oh, this one's ripping, but that's okay. Alrighty. Pop this over nicely.
Mom,
What? Yes, that's fine, Kenzie. Using my scraper. Popping it over the back. And like I said, I'm going to trim the transfer paper down as well, so that when I put it on and it's over and where it meets up, it's not overlapping and causing issues. It'll just make it that little bit easier to put onto my cup. And I might trim this bit down a little as well. Just so that we've got those nice. I don't know about you guys, but I always find smaller decals easier to work with. Okay, got a little bin under here. got a few bubbles in my tape, so I'm just gonna. Doesn't really matter if there's bubbles in the tape, just so long as there's no bubbles over the actual decal part. Right. There we go. That might be a bit better. Okay. So I'm just making sure that it's well and truly stuck on there. Quiet, please, while I'm working and recording. Okay. Have a look. As you can see, I cut it out of colour this time rather than the white. Makes it just that little bit easier to see what I'm doing. When I was weeding and now, it's obvious when it hasn't completely stuck. And my camera's having a little trouble focusing, I think, with being zoomed in like that. Okay. So once again, making sure that all the little tiny pieces, there are so many tiny, teeny bits to this decal. I am not looking forward to peeling them off when I do my peekaboo. However, I am looking forward to the result. Okay, oh my gosh. Just slowly take your time. Making sure every little piece. Now, when I was looking on Lovely Lulu Designs Etsy store, I noticed that she actually has a few of these different damask patterns. I picked the one that has the, oh, it's got this cute. Okay, I am really sorry. I looked up to check, make sure that I was still in frame, and realised that my card was full and that it hadn't, I missed a whole bunch of my recording. So basically all I've done is finished applying it to my transfer tape, and then this time it just laid on absolutely perfectly. So now I'm just going to remove my transfer paper. Again, being very careful to make sure that everything has stuck down, especially these teeny tiny little detail pieces up here. So trimming that transfer tape really helped, as did resizing the decal to actually fit my cup. So don't skip those steps. I think when it cut out, from what I was looking at when I was emptying my camera, I was talking about how the different designs that I've seen on the damask, and how Lovely Lulu Designs actually has a couple of different damask decals for this, that she's designed for this style of tumbler. And I think I also mentioned that in a few of the groups I've been in, there has been people who have done them with different, this triple split tumbler with different designs. Like, for example, instead of damask, I've seen a couple that have had roses at the top, or I've seen one that was leopard print peekaboo at the top. And yeah, so really only limited by your imagination and your weeding skill. Just remember when you're doing it that because it is a peekaboo, you really, really want to have a decal with crisp lines. I'm just going to cut this off. Normally I save it. When you're doing a wrap, it really does get kind of destroyed. No. The easiest way I found to remove your transfer paper, please, is to slowly move it back on itself instead of pulling it up like this, just to slowly pull it back against itself. And this is coming off absolutely beautifully. That is one of the things I like about the Cricut vinyl, is it always goes on nicely. Well, almost always goes on nicely. Oh no, that's right. I thought I missed a spot. So that looks awesome just as it is. And if you wanted to, you could just put your coat of epoxy on, add your decals and be done. However, I am going to stick with the original idea of peekaboo, and most likely I'm going to completely regret it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tape off my tumbler. Now, along my ribbon section in the middle, my decals have actually gone over that a little. That doesn't matter. I'm just going to tape over them. When I remove the tape and then remove the vinyl, it will give me that nice crisp line that I need, and you won't even have noticed that I have. There we go. That overlapped. All right. So what I'm going to do now that I've got that nice line that will be nice and crisp, just going to take some paper towel and cover the rest of the tumbler and tape that on as well, just to protect the bottom. Unlike when I was doing my base coat, when I didn't care that a little bit of the colour had moved from the top to the bottom or the bottom to the top, because I knew I was going to be covering it. This time, I really don't want that to happen at all. I am so sorry about my children. I think I might need to have a quick word with them before I go out and spray paint about behaving themselves while I'm recording.
I'm coming.
Alright, so I'm just going to put a little bit on the bottom too, just to be on the safe side. I have mentioned multiple times that I'm not the neatest crafter. So when it comes to stuff like this, I would rather be safe than sorry and just throw on a little bit more than might be necessary. All right. I am happy with that. When I come back, I will have spray painted the top of my tumbler black, and it will have dried, and I will be ready to remove the covering and the vinyl for my peekaboo. Okay, so I've let this dry, and now I'm going to attempt to remove my vinyl for my peekaboo. Wish me luck. Okay. Just rubbish down into the bin. Got my weeding tool. Right, you want to be really careful when you're doing this so that you don't scratch your glitter.
Mommy.
Or scratch the epoxy that's over your glitter.
Make a glass. But glass. Make a super glass, you know.
Oh, is it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yes.
Magic. And it's absolutely gorgeous the way those lines come up. Let's see if I can. Okay, so I will probably speed this up because it's going to take me quite a while. So I won't chat while I do it. I will just go ahead and remove all of the vinyl pieces slowly and carefully. And then I will come back for the last couple of steps. Okay, so I might do the rest of this off camera and then come back when it is done and show you where I'm at. Okay, so I've finished taking off all the vinyl and my peekaboo is now complete. So now what I need to do is to work out how I want to border the ribbon of glitter in the middle. At the moment I've just put 2 strips of black around, which probably can't really see. But that's just to give me an indication of, I just did that to see for myself how it was going to look. So right now I'm just trying to decide on what colours suit this the best. At the moment I'm leaning towards this purple with this silver. All I will do is cut strips, just using my paper cutter to make sure that they're nice and straight, and put them around. I'll be back once I've decided which ones I want to do, what colours. Okay, I'm back and I've actually decided on putting on this ribbon, and I'll be using Tombow Multi XL. So it's the mono liquid glue, and the reason I've chosen to use this is because it does have a nice, fairly fine point that I'll be able to use on this thinner ribbon.
Yeah.
Glue that has a really good adhesion. So I'm just putting the glue along the back of the ribbon. Nice, thin line. I've cut the ribbon to the right length, but I am still using gloves, grey gloves, because it is rather messy working with liquid glue. And I don't feel like having sticky fingers today. Okay, so now I'm just going to push that down nice and firmly, making sure that I go nice and straight along that line of black vinyl that I'd already put down along my lines of glitter. Now this is where having those crisp lines from the start really comes in handy. While putting on the ribbon and the vinyl can hide minor mistakes, having that nice crisp straight line to start with really helps you to get your vinyl and, in this case, ribbon embellishments on nice and straight. Now this glue dries clear, but when it dries I will also clean my black up a little so that it is so that any of those marks won't show up in the under the epoxy layer. Okay, now because this is ribbon, I'm being very careful to make sure that there is no places where it lifts and that it is stuck down and lined up really well.
Okay.
Yes, Chris.
We didn't play with water.
You didn't play with water? Then why did I just get splashed with water from you?
No, this one.
Okay. There's a little bit of a fray here. You can't quite see it in the video, I don't think. But when it dries, it'll be nice and stiff, and I will cut that off. Okay, so now I'm just going to move down to the second layer, to the second strip. I actually had lots of trouble deciding what to do for this little bit. It took me quite a while to come to the decision that I did. I even asked advice on one of my cup groups. I think it was the Aussie Tumbler Makers group. So thank you to everybody who commented. I've gone with, as you can probably see if you're watching now and commenting on the post, I've gone with number 2. And the options that I put up.
Invincible. Is that 1, 2? Which one is that? Is that 1 or 2? Quickly down the battle, Sans! Not you, Sephiroth! Sephiroth got this. Come on.
Once again, I have to excuse the noise in the background. It's school holidays and it's raining again.
They're probably still in.
So my kids are going just a little bit stir crazy.
Cool.
And I don't really blame them. I am myself a little too. Okay, so I'm just going to let that dry.
Is that why you
This glue takes about half an hour to dry completely.
so dumb.
James, I am back, and the glue has dried and set quite nicely. I trimmed off those couple of little bits of fraying around the edges of the ribbon, and now I'm just using a clear white lens cleaner to clean up the glue from around the edges and to remove any of my fingerprints from the black. I find that the clear wipes cleaner works better than alcohol, simply because it is alcohol, but it's on a streak-free cloth.
And she won't be able to get it back.
And it's a little bit gentler than a lot of the other okay, so it's just a really stubborn bit of adhesive here.
But you're meant to be the parent. Kenzie, you're not supposed to be a part of this.
No, I'll just do a voiceover again. Because they hate me. There's too much noise already.
Kenzie, shush. First, there's something I have to tell you. If you wouldn't like someone to do it to you, don't do it to someone else.
Okay, once again, I want to apologise for the noise that my children were making. But that is being a mum and crafting with kids in the house, especially during the school holidays. But yeah, I almost was going to just scrap this whole video because of the noise. But I get asked constantly, how do you do it? How do you craft with kids in the house? How do you study with kids in the house? How do you do it? This is how. I try my best to tune out the noise. I make sure that they are safe, and I do what I need to do. But yeah, they're back at school now, and I finally have gotten around to doing the voice recording for this video, and hopefully I will get it up for you later on today. But yeah, so second last layer of epoxy. Basically, when it comes to knowing how many layers of epoxy you're going to need, there's no right or wrong answer. You need as many as you need. Just make sure that you sand down in between coats so that you are limiting the thickness of your epoxy, and that you've got your epoxy has something to adhere to. I think I did 2 or 3 coats to get this nice and smooth all the way down. I think after 2 coats I could still feel the ribbon, the actual ribbon part. There was a couple of spots where I could still feel that through the epoxy, so I decided to do the 3rd coat. As you'll see in the photos at the end, it came out absolutely stunning and I love it. It's my new favourite cup. And I hope you have enjoyed watching me create in the chaos that is my home. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe.